Steve and Kirk think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and our aim in a hand. The host can't see, it's Mike and the Minifans. And nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee, it's Mike and the Minifans.
Wow. Thank you, Warden. Hey, how are you? Welcome to Mike and the Minifans with the oldest panel in recorded broadcast history. I'm joined here today by every Miniladies Hall Pass, Ned Snark. Ned, how are you?
That was nice. Thanks, BA.
No worries.
Good. Happy to be here.
Good. I'm also joined by Joanne, the box dropper. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
And we're with Long John Silvertongue, the ass assassin. Spock so long they hold the tip of his dick. John Pelletier, how are you, buddy?
Wonderful.
That is a hell of an open.
I'm happy to be talking to you guys. Ned, you know, I love you. John, we've met in person. Joanne, I haven't met you before, but I'm happy to chat. A lot to discuss, even though on a short week, a lot to discuss. But I like to start with the icebreaker. Kirk was right moment that sticks true to you. So Ned, what do you have one?
Yeah, K Marco is the Hall of Fame. It's the GOAT. There are so many because he's been right so many times. But I think with me, the one that resonates because it keeps resonating is he killed K Marco. In fact, he wobbled into the office the second day after Dave bought the company, which was this morning at like 9:45. Like he could give a shit. He's a broken human being.
Yeah, I was saying I think Kirk has been in the office more in 2023 than K Marco.
That's right.
You know? John, how about you?
Ned stole my thunder.
That's my favorite one too. I have to say the K Marco. Yeah. Joanne, do you have one?
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Okay. Kirk, you don't think Kirk was right? Kirk was right. That's okay.
Oh, Kirk. Oh, yeah. I gotta have some words with Kirk.
Okay.
So going back, Joanne, to the beginning, you know, Kirk faced a lot of headwinds when he launched this thing. Although he had the support of Barstool, but he immediately got into fights with everyone in the first, like I'd say 2 months, 3 months that he was on. June, July, and August were battle months. And I think I remember the first Kirk was right was Albright. If I could be wrong, but I think that was the first time I remember hearing it, which was the Denver sports writer who totally bullshit his way. And the Minifans and other, we'll just call them Minifan adjacent groups, just dug into this guy's past. Kirk stood up for Steve because Dave was about to fire Steve. Yes. Because Chaps is a military guy and says, we don't go after other military guys. Kirk said, if you fire Steve, I'm going too. Dave said, that's fine. But then within a weekend, it did a 180-degree turn, and it turns out that Steve was right. Yeah. Kirk was right. And that Albright's a scumbag. And he still is.
That was a great moment because he was a stolen valor guy, Albright. Great moment, yes. Dan is saying. He was a stolen valor. He was saying he did all this stuff or said he served in places he didn't. So even military guys, okay, maybe he was in the military, but like he wasn't everywhere, he was saying. So yeah, I think that was the first time it was like hashtag Kirk was right. I think so.
He's also, by the way, Albright's also like 20% Cherokee Indian, 20% Jewish, descendant of 25% atomic scientists who fled Nazi Germany ahead of the Comanche. I don't know who, but the guy just lied and was never called out until Steve and Kirk. And I got to say, Steve was the tip of the spear, and then Kirk was the thrust. So.
Yep. So I usually do the Kirk was wrong moment. I think Kirk was wrong, and everyone probably could agree with me for trusting Dave Cullinane to do the Plymouth live show stuff. So we'll get into that a little bit later, but we'll kind of this show will kind of do the pre-Plymouth, and then the aftermath of Plymouth. We'll kind of go through there. So pre-Plymouth, there was two big events. I guess it was Friday, the no exit concert at that bar, and then there was the Bio Dudes Cornhole Extravaganza, and I think John and Joanne were big figures. Were big figures at both these events. So Friday, no exit 4. Kirk said maybe Joanne a little box drop, a tattoo, all this stuff.
He said, I'm going to say it here.
Go ahead.
He said, I touched his dick.
Manhood.
Did you?
No. First of all, I would never disrespect him at his thing by touching his dick, nor would I disrespect my boyfriend. I was like, and then he walks up to me, he's never met me, and he goes, you have a tattoo on your tit. Oh, okay.
What is it? What's a tattoo of? I was curious.
It's right here.
Oh, that's classy. That's classy. That's the classy.
I would never touch the man's private.
But do you think maybe you had a little too much to drink? Mala, Chuck Wagon, you're bumping into people.
John was standing right behind me.
Okay, John, what did you see?
Yeah, I was stumbling right behind her. I know nothing of what happened that night.
Oh, here we go.
John and Joanne, two American kids doing whatever they can, eh?
Yeah.
He said on Monday I was legless. I was not legless. We walked back to our hotel.
You got to think.
We stumbled back to our hotel.
Oh, Wyatt, I could say something else that happened, but
say it. This is the
this is the forum.
What is it? I heard John Peltz was on all fives, apologizing to every middle lady there. I said 5 because one of his is his dick, because he has a big dick.
That's his story. He can tell his story.
No, there's no story.
Hey, someone's writing your jokes. You're out of the gate. It's too hot out of the gate.
But yeah, but you got to think, Joanne. Kirk's a guy. He's like a sober guy, right? So even someone that's like mildly like drunk, he's gonna say over the top, right? So I think I'm on your side. I think you held your own. You're doing a good job. I heard good things. Even from apparently even the cornhole tournament was run more efficiently than Plymouth, because if you couldn't find where to go, you just listened to Daver's voice and you could find the tournament. That's what I was hearing from people there.
It was fun.
How did you like the cornhole? John, how did you like the cornhole?
I didn't get to play because. Yeah.
Where's
Thank God.
This other girl is calling him. Great.
Yeah,
this is just lovely.
If Menace is listening, we're dead.
Your other girlfriend's calling you, John?
Yeah.
But so how was the cornhole? Was it all right?
I didn't get to play. I played against Montante. He got 4 in a row, so we were out. I didn't even get to throw.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Interesting.
New Jersey guy.
Interesting. Okay. Joanne, how'd you like the cornhole?
I didn't really play cornhole. I was up.
But I mean, more of the whole experience, meaning people.
Bio Dude, is that his name? God love him. He opened up his whole house. He couldn't have been a better host. And I have to say, everybody I met couldn't have been nicer to me. Everyone was lovely. They were a great bunch of people. I really enjoyed myself. They're all lovely.
It looked like a great time.
It looked really fun. I think the cornhole would have been, because I think like the Fridays, like Ned could attest, like the night before the shows or those shows, I think it's a lot of fun, right? A lot of fun. Everyone's anxious for the show. You're meeting people for the first time. So I think that was a cool, like, to be at someone's house, cornhole, barbecuing. Yeah. Did you try the bacon, the Bio Dudes bacon?
No, what did I have? Well, his neighbor was cooking. Was that it, John? His neighbor was cooking?
Yeah, I believe it was his neighbor.
The food was unbelievable. And this man, I mean, his whole house, he was, We messed it up. God love him for hosting.
Interesting. So Bio Dude actually reached out. He said some blue collar worker broke a chair at his house. Joanne, do you have the picture of the chair? Joe. Sorry, Joe, the producer.
Oh, I was going to say I didn't break any chair.
I'm not saying
no, it wasn't you, Joanne.
I
think
I wasn't there. I
Oh!
don't even know.
Did you see that? So people were speculating some guy broke a chair, but I think we have the culprit. Do you have who it was?
Yeah.
Michael Montante.
Yeah, that's what I was
Oh,
told.
now
too.
I remember him, John. I was talking to him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Someone told me Michael Montante dressed up like a tow truck driver to this event. I was wondering, I was like, if he should have had a toolkit in his or a toolbox to fix that chair based off this look. What do you guys think of Michael Montante's look?
He looks fine. Everyone else was like, in shorts, and
Yeah.
Steve was the worst dressed from what I understand. So Montante looks fine. He looks totally acceptable.
Looks
What
fine.
what Goodwill box did he raid?
Oh,
That's a good one. John.
Burn.
he
Burn,
just
you got
saved
him.
his mother from having her houses repossessed. So come on.
But
Guys,
we got to keep Montante relevant because now Karab is potentially back. You want him still in studio. So Montante, he dresses like a blue collar worker, but I think he sells aluminum foil. So I don't know his look, but it's.
I'll take Montante over Carabas any day on the third chair.
Me too, 100%.
John needs to
100%.
be the third chair.
You
John
think
would be a
John?
good third chair.
I don't know about
Again.
that.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You did a
Think
great job.
I think we have some good comments here. Ross, or do you want to put them on? Joe, before we go, because I think, that's worse than breaking a bed. That's for sure.
That's true.
I think Fez said something next. That is a great talent. Yes.
Who said that? Not me.
Kirkman.
He's sending.
Oh, Fez said this looks like a cast from a.
Fez is right.
Oh,
Hashtag Fez was right.
Someone dared me to jump on the mini trampoline on Biodude's deck, and then they said, which I did. They said, what if you broke it? I said, well, just tell him to tell his kids the life lesson, put their toys away.
Did you jump?
he was.
Yeah, I
Jumping
did.
on the mini trampoline. And he had nothing to drink that day, just water.
Yeah.
It's way too hot for pants back haul. That's what I think. More of a shorts. I think shorts is a better move.
Yeah, I think it was 75.
Appreciate the
degrees.
heat.
It was a very pleasant day.
Yeah, it was. It
Otherwise,
was nice. Yeah.
it was. By the way, in 4
go
years,
ahead,
the
Ned.
first time I saw TJ Hubbard without a flat brim baseball cap. I didn't realize
He had
he had a full head
great
of hair.
He
has
had
great hair.
Great hair. Great flow. Great
knew?
flow. He had a great flow. And so, John or Joe had any tidbits from the Friday or the Friday or the Saturday cornhole that we don't know about because Ned and I weren't there?
Just the dick touching comment.
Okay, you got the dick on your mind still, you know?
It really upset me. Not upset me. It annoyed me.
He also got to understand he's going a little bit over the top. It's a show. It's not to say
This was
it's
at
a little
the
bit
bar.
of a shtick.
This was at the bar. And he
I don't
made
know.
a couple of cracks at the end of the show.
That's good.
Okay, is he trying to be Howard Stern? Is he trying to be Howard Stern? I mean, really?
Wow, he's gonna like this one.
Joanne, just calm down. Calm the fuck down. Just calm
I hate to say, but Joanne sounds like all of my aunts.
I like this, Joanne. You say what's on your mind. You know, this is your platform.
Don't I,
I
John?
like
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit too much sometimes.
Yep.
Cool. So then there was the show. There was Plymouth. It kind of to me had kind of a community center feel from the pictures. Is that how did you guys think of the venue?
I mean, the venue itself was pretty nice. Like where we did the VIP was pretty cool.
Ned, John, go ahead. What's so funny?
Peltz doing body shots off Fuss Daddy was a bit much.
Oh wow, Peltz, you did body shots off Fuss Daddy?
No, I didn't do any shots.
All right.
I took a hit off his vape pen.
Nice.
He was very nice to share.
Fuss is a great guy. Fuss is one of.
So we're Peltz. I don't remember you at Portland. I know BA, you were there, but if you had to compare the venues between the State Theater in Portland and the Plymouth place, how do they rate?
I would say the State Theater in Portland was a little bit nicer, but I thought the theater itself was fine. It's old.
Yeah.
But most of them are. So
yeah.
The VIP was great. We were in a big room, and it was just wild. Like I would say, no less than 100 people came up to me and were like, "Great job on the show Friday." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, thanks." It was
Joanne,
weird.
how was it being with a superstar like Peltz? How was it being his arm candy for the weekend?
Oh, I love him. It was fun. We had a really good time. I got a little taste of the Kirk Minahan show on Friday, and
Okay.
it was so funny. He gave me the number, and I called in. I was the third caller.
Wow.
They picked up, and I talked.
Yeah.
Boy, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that. Yeah.
You could.
I
I heard that Mayo. How does this Coug have a better streaming setup than BA? I don't know. There you go. Hey, do you want to show on the network Joanne's thoughts? You could just have Joanne's thoughts.
It would be a 3-hour show.
Oh, beautiful.
Right, honey?
That would be great.
Manners won't give me a slot, so that'd be great if you could do that.
Joanne, real star of the weekend. That's what I am. Joanne to the network. That's Kirk. That's the Kirk Minahan network saying that too. That's crazy. So I heard a couple things that I heard from the show. Mayo stood up and was booed. Did you see that, John?
Big time, yeah. And then nothing.
Nothing.
And he was just standing there pacing back and forth. What do I do?
I heard he was booed for like a split second, and then it was just nothing. That's funny. Kirk called Mama Kay a cunt during the live show. Did you guys hear that?
I did not hear that.
It was not during the live show.
I think. Oh, it was. I thought
it was on the next episode of KMS because he was describing some woman who reached out for him.
But I thought
fair
he
judgment,
said that
by
he
the way.
turned.
But,
I thought he told her, like he said on KMS, he said "shut up, cunt" or something, or maybe he didn't say it like that.
Yeah,
maybe not. So
he probably did.
He did, but I don't know if it was to her.
I don't think it was to her.
It wasn't to her. Okay. So I have inside information. Someone sat next to Whitney during the show, and they said that Whitney was on his phone the whole time during the show.
Not a good
look.
Breaking news.
Not a good look.
Not a good look for Whitney. So Whitney on his phone during the whole show. I have multiple sources have confirmed that. So
and then Ryan, then when he called in, he said to Kirk, a suggestion for next time, why don't you just do your show?
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
So that's a question I actually wanted to ask. Like, so there's like this kind of a debate going on. Would you rather a big production-based show like the Wilbur or Portland, or would you rather like a live podcast feel like similar to what they did in Saco or Madawaska? Like, what would you prefer? Ned, maybe I'll start with you.
Don't start with me because I went first last time. So start with
me. Okay, we'll start with John. John, what would you prefer?
I'm definitely on Saco. Like it just, you can meet so many people. Whereas the show, like there was only, I would say 40 people Friday night. So, it just gets you. There's some people that I definitely didn't see that I wanted to see that, if you're at Saco, you definitely see them.
Saco, you see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Saco, the drive-in and then where the drive-in is now in the new location, it's not conducive to a live full entertainment show. It's conducive to a studio show.
Yeah.
But you get like a tailgate, dead show type, fish show type of, atmosphere. So everybody sees each other and you get to spend a lot of time with everyone.
But yeah, John, so if you had to choose, would you rather big production or them just shooting the shit talking for a couple hours?
I would go with the Saco, but if he could do something like, and I know it'll never happen, say like a Foxwoods and everyone stayed at Foxwoods. You know what I mean? You were all in one place.
Vegas.
Kirkman and to maybe
Joanne,
I'm on the plane.
Joanne, maybe you get the Joanne show on the network. You take this to the next level, and then we're doing Vegas 2024. You know,
John, we're going to Vegas, baby.
Wow.
I was just there in May. It's really fun.
Nice. So Ned, what would you prefer? Because it's kind of tough because I could see both sides. Like the production, it's like cool. It's cool. I actually do like the kind of karaoke where he's singing "Born in the USA" and all this stuff. But I could also see the other side. Just them. I would think them shooting the shit live is probably very entertaining. So,
yeah. Well, to me, it's the seasonal. If it's a winter show and they're going to do it in the Northeast, they should do it indoors, and he should do a big production show. If it's going to be in the Northeast in the summer, he should do an outdoor show. The weather's great, and he should do his regular like KMS formatted show. That's what I think. It depends on the weather, but I also like going out to, I was hoping to go to Iowa and Kansas and all the other places. I didn't get to go to Magnolia. I almost did. I almost went with the Florida Drip in Tampa, but I like the remote shows as well. They're a little tougher to get to. And personally, I'm not as flexible as I was in this new job and I was in my last job, but I would still make every effort to go. But I think the State Theater in the winter in Portland was great, but I also think the summer in Saco was perfect.
I think the Saco show is probably the best because, like John said, you get to see everyone. It has a little bit of video components, but it also has it's primarily like a live podcast. So I think the Saco is like the meta of all of them. I think for sure I'll definitely go to Portland again and to the Saco. But so that's it. Any other Plymouth, any tales from Plymouth, the show, John or Joanne, that you want to share? You're our inside people, the stars of the weekend.
I felt kind of bad. I thought the audio wasn't that great, but I don't think it was anybody's fault. Like everyone was jumping all over Dave, and I don't think it was his fault really.
Yeah, that's kind of next on my list. Like,
and the screen was small.
So Cullinane gets demoted from this aspect of his job. You got to think like all this stuff could have been resolved, right? If any kind of like pre-planning goes into this, like how don't you?
Where did John go?
Oh, John,
where did Peltz go?
Well, I don't know.
John.
Well,
maybe it's a booty call. Oh, there.
What are you doing?
Booty call.
John's lagging. There's a bit of a delay on John's end. That's why I took him out.
Because he's on his phone.
So I'm gonna mute John sometimes if it comes back again.
Okay, thank you, Menders.
That's cruel.
Okay.
Wow, what an asshole.
Stalin-esque.
Well, we're complaining about the audio of the fucking Kirk Minahan show. I can't have that fucking lag the whole time. We look like morons.
I thought you wanted to do the audio.
What like you say?
Whatever.
John, honey, you and I should switch places. I mean, seriously.
No, I'm good.
Do you want to come up?
Oh yeah. I like this. I like being beside to the left or right of John and above Joanne. I think this is a perfect spot.
Am I at risk below John here? I feel
I know this is like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
Marsha.
But so the audio was an issue. Obviously, there wasn't any due diligence by Cullinane. He gets demoted. It's kind of like you got to think if he's in charge of this, he should. You should go to the place first. You should see something at the place first. Like you should do some due diligence, dot the T's, cross the I's. Similar to what Kirk said when they had a script in Madawaska, Cullinane just gives it to them, and it's missing half the part. He's obviously not a detail-oriented guy, and maybe he's overwhelmed, right? So, So, Joanne, you were at how was the audio? I guess the audio. What was your experience with the audio?
When they were doing the video, sometimes I couldn't hear what they were saying. I don't know if it was the hall and it was just like echoing. I don't know. I was like, what? And it was hard to see the screen sometimes. I guess it was good videos. It was funny, but some of the jokes I was missing because I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, like you're seeing the videos now when they put them on YouTube. They seem all right.
They were clearer on YouTube,
and they're probably better. Like it's better in the sense of the show because they probably put them out a certain way, like in the show. But you would think like this is something. The screen, the audio from the screen is something you would cross your T's about that before, especially knowing the previous shows. Ned, what did you think? Or John, do you want to go if you're unmuted?
John was an eyewitness.
Well, I think Dave, bit off more than he could chew. But, Kirk let him have the rope and he hung himself. But not an easy task to produce a show like that, especially where he was in charge of everything.
But they did a run through in Portland because I was there for the carrying the casket out, and we had to run through that in the middle of the afternoon. And Dave was running not the whole show, but he was running the whole production. So it's kind of just strange that it didn't happen, or maybe it did happen, but it failed. We don't know. We don't know the full story.
Oh, and the microphones kept.
Yeah,
it seemed like the State Theater was a venue that could support kind of these kind of things. So Dave didn't need the due diligence didn't need to be there because it's like, oh, these guys have it down pat. Where this theater, this other theater looked like.
Love it.
Yeah, this other theater, it's like I said, from the pictures has a community center feel. So you think maybe you need to bring in your own stuff for that, right? So there was speculation like who do you think should replace it? Mayo said maybe Madawaska Rob would be the perfect guy.
Kirk will never do it. I agree. Yeah. Good choice. Kirk will never do it. Yeah. He's got some. I don't know what it is. Rob is a great guy. And by the way, helped carry the casket in Portland. That gets no credit for it, by the way, because the casket was up and he was blocked.
And you think Rob's the kind of guy that's going to be like, he's going to be looking, he doesn't want to fuck up at all. He's going to look into everything 5, 6, 7 times, so I thought it was a decent point. Like if they're, and Rob and Dave seem to have a good relationship, so John, what do you think?
Excellent suggestion.
I'd even go with myself, and I can show them how to really fuck up things.
You can't even do it. You can't do audio for StreamYard, brother.
How about Mark Moroso? He would be perfect for this, wouldn't he?
Oh, interesting. That's not a bad thing. I don't know. Like he was kind of so early on that the voicemail.
Ted, you pooper.
What time is the panel having their Metamucil? Do you guys have it in your? Do you guys have those pill boxes that every day you open it up and it gives you?
Not yet, but the Metamucil isn't an unfair shot, Ted. So.
Yeah. So Cully demoted. I think it's fair too, and like I honestly don't think it's as much on Kirk. Okay, sorry, comments. This is pre-recorded 4 p.m. right before you guys is it.
What time okay. Ha ha ha.
What time do you guys eat dinner? Like 5:15?
We ate tonight at 6.
Okay, probably
I ate about 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ned, you're like a diamond in the rough for sure. Like I said, every minute ladies hall pass. That's for sure.
No, that's not true. It's pelts. It's
you are pelts. That's any truth to the rumor Joe Saunders asked Joanne and Pelts to swing Friday night?
Good question from the field.
Whoa.
No.
He's on fire. Thank you, John. Any other comments?
That's an emphatic no.
There's more. Rob can't go work for 40K. Yeah, but it could be like a side thing. It could be a side thing, like a side job. It's not a full. It's only one live shows. Come on. So even if like, I think maybe Sheldon from North Dakota should be given the job. He's organized on time. He's.
There must be somebody in the Minivan world that has some audio visual experience.
Nipples, maybe nipples.
That's what I'm hearing is nipples.
Yeah. And I like his girlfriend. I like her very much. She was very nice. Did you guys
swing with them?
Correct.
No.
Can we
listen to John? He goes. No. I mean, no.
Can we, John and Joanne? Can you give us a boots on the ground, feet in the air account of how well dressed most of the mini ladies were on Saturday night? Because I saw some pictures that were pretty damn good. Not in a pervy way. Allison T, Robinson's Bed and Breakfast. They look pretty good. Lauren look great.
Yeah,
they always dress up.
They
Yeah,
do,
some-
but
lovely.
I saw
Lovely
some
lady.
footage. I saw some footage of some people staring at B&B's cleavage in the
it's not right.
in the mirror. It's crazy. It's
not
crazy.
No,
It's
all
not
the
right at
ladies
all.
look lovely.
Yeah.
They were all dressed up.
yeah, I will say they don't dress like that at Saco when it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
outside. No, this was special occasions.
sometimes-
Dress up.
Sometimes that Lululemon legging look is a fire look, ain't that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
always good.
absolutely.
How about you, Pulse? You like the Lululemon look? Oh yeah. I see
Pulse.
that smile.
Camel toe look.
Oh,
Yeah, all depends.
all six of them look great. That's funny.
All 6 of them.
Joanne, how about the ratio there to the guys to the girls? Pretty
Oh, there
crazy.
were way
eh?
more guys, I thought,
It's-
in the
it's like-
audience.
How much
Well,
would you
there-
say?
Joanne,
How much-
this was your first show, right?
Yes.
There
Yeah.
always has been, but it's been progressively becoming more balanced. So in the last 3 shows that I've noticed, a lot more, wives and girlfriends are coming. So
Right.
I'd like to know, what do you think? What was the
Well,
ratio?
I would say 5-1.
Oh,
Guess that's
okay.
I don't know.
I think
That's
but
Madawaska
you
one
have to
level.
have, as a woman, you have to have a fairly thick skin.
Yeah.
To be at the show. A lot of my friends would be very put off and
Horrified.
they wouldn't like that.
Yeah, horrified.
sense
You
of
say the
humor.
Minifan.
Yeah.
Most of the
What are you
Minifans.
saying, Joanne?
Yeah, what are you trying to say about the Minifans? They're not most. See, me, Ned, myself, and John, we're kind of like the 1% of the Minifans.
You're
you know?
mellow. You guys are mellow.
No.
Uh,
It's
I
we're
don't think I'm
respectful.
mellow.
At that Friday night in Portland at Gritty McDuff's,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw everybody there, Sneaks, everyone, and people were okay. I think it was the Saturday night afterwards. Not Sneaks is not involved in that, but what happened
No,
Saturday
well,
night was
I
horrible.
think the Friday was Friday that stuff happened, but
It was
for the most part,
Saturday.
everyone's like really good guys, thick skin and a drinking problem.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you need to have.
Yep.
Little just a little drinking problem. Just a sputch.
That's funny.
I was let out of my cage, so I kind
There
of
you go.
woo.
That's all right. You gotta have fun. Don't let what
See,
Kirk
John?
says. Don't let what Kirk says get after you. Oh, Ned hitting the hard stuff. Nice. Ned's
It's
classy,
actually-
man.
It's actually
Very classy.
gone. So I
Yeah.
gotta-
It's
unless
classy guy.
Menners breaks in to have me lagging, I can't go get any more until
yeah,
the show, so.
Manners is strict, man. He was telling Manners is a strict guy. It's crazy. We love you all. Thank you, Kirk 5K 2020. What a Kirk 5.
Very nice.
Also, thank you for keeping the content going.
Wow, that's very nice. That must be
Very nice.
must be
So
a
when
Very
I
nice.
Ned, when I first heard your name, I thought your name was Ned Stark
no, that was,
from
that's
Game
the
of
joke.
Thrones. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm like,
So-
John, is his name Ned Stark?
Back in
He got
2000
killed.
in 2011, I was big into the series and the books, and I was waiting for the last book. It didn't happen, of course. I'm still waiting, but I just thought it was a great Twitter name when I signed up for Twitter, and no one had it, which was stupid. I mean, ridiculous. I'm like, okay, someone's gonna have this.
Yeah.
Because I in my jobs, I have to kind of, not now, but I had to remain very anonymous. They're very anti-social media and saying how you feel. They would have, where I used to work at Delta Airlines, they would have fired me if they had known, I was with Kirk, and saying, doing this stuff, they would have killed me.
Yeah.
It's
funny.
fired.
It's funny. That name is so good. Like back in the day, you were like the go-to Minifan
I know.
name
I love
drop
that.
on the show. It was always Ned Snark.
I'm a freaking nobody, and I remember sitting in some airport a terminal and waiting for my flight, and I'm listening with headbuds and listening to the show live, and I'm like, did he just say my name? I was like, holy shit! And that's when I realized, okay, this is getting pretty big.
Yeah. When I like picturing your online persona and seeing you in person was like the two, like it's so crazy. I was like, oh, Ned Snark, he's gonna be a short, chubby guy, and it's the complete opposite.
Well, same with Kirk. What he is on the show, and you meet him in person, completely different.
He's very nice. He's very nice in person. Like when I met him, he was like, someone was like, I was kind of fucked up. I went up to him and I was like, Kirk was right, because I kept on going up to everyone saying Kirk was right on the Friday. And then someone's like, "Oh, that's BA," and he looked at me. He's like, "Oh, you're a physical specimen." and then I said, "Well, your mohawk's coming in nice," and then we kind of had a nice laugh and then walked away. So.
No, he seemed completely uncomfortable Friday night. Like,
I don't think that's his vibe though. At a
right,
bar,
right.
and
He
all
was
that's
just
not
like,
his
No, it's not.
hello, you have a tattoo on your tit.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's usually pretty personable though, because it's kind of his own. But Friday in Portland was 1,000% better than Friday in Plymouth. I've heard a lot like that, but that Friday in Portland was really fun. That was a fun Friday.
Yeah.
Where,
But, you know,
where was
Joanne-
my man? Where was
Sorry,
my
go ahead.
man Sneakers? Was he there this
I
weekend?
think he had Sneakers had he had family stuff or something. Or yeah, he had Sneakers, man of honor.
Forward to seeing him.
Yeah, Sneakers was great. Would be great. He's a great guy. Joanne, he might have been your hall pass as well.
Oh.
You know?
Oh yeah, Sneakers. I would have let that happen.
Holidays, eggs, absolutely agree. Friday in Portland, B introducing themselves 20 times is a great introduction to the weekend. I kept going up there and hey brother, Kirk was right. And then some people would be like, yeah, Kirk was right. And then other people would be like, who the fuck's Kirk? That's how I would know. That's how I would know like who's a Minifan or who's not. Because that Gritty's place was like packed by like it was packed.
So John, honey, I can have a hall pass with somebody?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
10 minutes. That's all I need. 10 minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
Maybe 15.
With 10 minutes, you might get 5 hall passes with the look of the Minifans. You know?
You never know. You never know.
Oh.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to talk about how crazy is Matt Carano? Like Kirk calls him to do hey, can you do something to the show? And then Carano says, well, we had a total annihilation of our relationship. Like this guy's so dramatic. He's such like he always did have that arrogance that he was too cool for everyone. Like you know, like Ned, everyone like it's so cool to meet everyone. You joke around. Like Carano wouldn't do that. He would think he's on another level, you know. So I thought it was a crazy move by him.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
He's an artist, and I met him several times, and been on shows with him several times. He's very good, very smart. But I don't think it's an arrogance. I just think he is on a different. He's moves in a different circle. But to say no like that though, that was kind of rude. Right.
It's like
he knows how Kirk is. He was producing he was like a guest fill-in producer many times, right? If I recall. So he knows what he's got.
You could think if he stuck around Jerry Callahan and then once Cullinane quits or fucks up, Carano would have been the next guy in to produce if he stuck around, you know, like that would have been kind of the coaching tree. Right. Peltz, what do you think about Carano's attitude in general?
Carano's even too good for Clemmer. That says it all.
Yeah,
I think that breakup was the other way around, though. I do think Clemmer left Carano. Yeah,
I do too. Because Clemmer's a pretty nice guy. Like I never met him in person.
Yeah,
I know Peltz. He told you his way to Barstool was through Kirk Minahan. So
yeah, Ross Company is correct. Or Roscoe is correct.
Carano was never the same after Turtle. Yeah, that's true. That was so funny. I remember going in watching those Turtle Boy. Those are the best going after.
That
Carano.
happens, you know. I don't really fault Carano for that, but it's just like it was strange because I was sitting front row with the OGs back for Madawaska 1, and Carano jumped in and helped out Steve because there were real technical issues there. Very cramped environment. They were using literally like a bench or a table was the studio, you know, was what they use. And of course, Mike was obliterated. He was totally blasted. So it was really just Kirk and Steve. And then Carano jumped up because there were terrible audio issues there too. And I think Steve was grateful for the help. So it's sad. But you know what? This universe, people spin off. Yeah. You know, MHB was gone. Now I hear he's back. You know, DEC original guys. They're just go off.
But it's like
LK, Latino Kirk, one of my favorites. Gone.
Yeah. But the way I see Carano, it's like someone told me, and I'm probably going to butcher this saying, but you should treat someone under you better than you treat someone above you. But Carano's the total opposite. Someone above him, like Steve, he's going to go, oh, I'll do this for you. Yeah. But if some no-name guy is asking for help, you'd be like, I'm Matt Carano, I'm an artist. Like that's the kind of guy I see him as. So that's where I thought it was wild. He wouldn't do anything. That would be so funny. Imagine he went on and did a skit or started singing. Like people, it makes you more likable too, right? And and then it's like, okay, this guy could, because I don't think he could joke. He can't joke it to himself. I know he was big back in the day with sneakers, and you see everyone was against sneakers because of Corona. And like, look how the tables have turned. Sneakers is a guy, you meet him, he's a great guy, and Corona, you're like, oh yeah, maybe Sneakers was right back in the day about this guy, you know. So I thought it was weird, and he's just so very dramatic. Peltz gets 0 word in the relationship. Poor guy, that's Michael Montante. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Montante in the chat.
Wow.
That is true.
Peltz is a great listener, I think. He's a great listener, eh, Joanne?
And that's what women want.
Yeah.
Women don't want great talkers.
But we talk back and forth. We chatty chatters.
Sure.
John,
I believe you.
Is that true?
Well, she sends me a text that's, like 10 pages long. And I say, yes or no.
Worst.
He goes, okay.
Just double click the thumbs up.
Sneaks was right.
Sneaks was right.
He was right about that. And you know what's funny? When I was the common guy, Mike and the Minifans, I got kicked off because I defended Sneaks about Carano, and then I got kicked off. So it all came full circle.
Well, I think Sneaks scored. Yeah. Sneaks won over a lot of people when he came in studio.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of the trolls won't do that. They don't face him. They won't face Kirk, and he did, and he held his own too. By the way, pushed back. It was very good, and
jokes.
I feel bad because he came up to me in at Gritty's in Portland on the Friday night and introduced himself, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, immediately said, like, "Is this guy dangerous or what?" I mean,
he's the nicest guy,
but it's like right. It turns out like what an asshole I was because it turns out like he wasn't that bad of a guy. We chatted for a bit, but not much, and I was looking for someone to pull me away. But then when I heard him on the show, I'm like, I was wrong about this guy.
Yeah, no, he's great
good at what he does. He's a good troll.
And he's a great troll. And he's like, he keeps people accountable. Like if you start going too far online, he's like, okay, I'll go far at you too. Like, so he keeps people accountable. Do you want to talk about even though there's only like a handful of girls in this world, they still seem to fight. Lauren Lynn versus Smugsy online. Do we have the picture, Joanne? There we go. Smugsy says, careful with the dress if you want a full return. Lauren says, careful with your mouth or I'll block you. You can't continue to desperately beg for interactions. Wow.
Fired. Wow.
I don't get it.
I didn't think you would.
Careful with the dress? What?
She's saying that be careful with the dress because Lauren's going to return it after wearing it once, right?
Oh. Okay.
That's kind of
a shot. I think it's a multi-level shot, at a number of ways. That was a shitty thing to say.
But they go at it. They seem to be going at it a lot on Twitter. Like they go back and forth. Joanne, you team Smugsy or team Lauren?
I don't even know who you're talking about. I'm not on Twitter.
Joanne, you know what? You're the best position to be.
I heard Smugsy was actually one of John's hall passes. So.
Listen to him laughing.
I forget what it was.
Who the hell is Smugs?
She was almost the governor, I think, in Maine.
And a senator.
Almost a senator in Maine.
Yep, she was almost a U.S. senator from Maine.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And she's a fan.
And she was a sneak. She tried. She snuggled up to Kirk, trying to get some of his. What do you call it?
It was something with Murchison and stuff back.
And then it turns out she was in league with Murchison, and then she dumped Murchison and came back.
She's a politician.
But
she's a reporter now. She's like a Kirk Minahan hit piece reporter. I think she keeps everyone accountable.
What's sad is my idol, Visionless Dave, loves her. So it's the only thing where I can kind of call into question Visionless Dave's judgment. Everything else, he's perfect.
I did take a picture with her. I did take a picture with her in Portland. She was dressed up as Cruella de Vil, just sitting. She was dressed up as Cruella de Vil with a black boa, taking notes from like the stairs. It was so funny. Like if she's trolling, but that's where you don't know. If she's like been trolling this whole time, I could see it, but I think she is serious, and that's a little bit of where you're like she's a lunatic, as Ross said she may be.
Suburban Tug Time. Put that back up. Suburban Tug Time had
Suburban Tug Time. Smugsy is going to throw her back out, waving her arms so fucking hard. That's true. She does wave her arms very hard, and pretty much we can end this off with Portnoy buys back Barstool for $1. Kirk, 3 more years of Kirk Minahan. I think the two are probably related a little bit. I think it's great that I always said Kirk wasn't going anywhere. Maybe if Penn still owned it and stuff, he might be like, okay, fuck this, I'll do something on my own. But now that Portnoy's there, I could see Kirk staying there forever. Like Portnoy loves Kirk. Kirk is one of Portnoy's like close, trusted guys. So you could tell it's been by his back. I think it's great news. Jared back in studio. What do you guys think about all of this? John, you want to go with you first, Johnny boy?
Well, yeah. When I was in studio, I saw someone walk in at the end of the show. That's when they filmed that stuff, and I was kind of did a double take. I'm like, who the hell is that? And then I saw the arm sleeve, and I went, oh,
it's Carabas.
What's he doing here?
Oh, so you saw Carabas come in while you're there. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So now, what do you think about this whole thing?
I'd still take John or Montante in that third chair than Carabas.
Oh, for sure.
Not that I dislike. I just think he's boring, and I don't think he knows the show.
I want to see
Kirk.
Yeah, he doesn't know the show. I want to see Montante and Whitney in studio together. I would like, because Noah Whitney said he wants to be in with a fan. I would like to see Montante, Whitney in studio. I think it would be funny.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think that was a brilliant move. I thought it was a good move, but I was worried about like, okay, what's this going to be for the financial viability? Until I saw the deal that they literally gave it back to him after he sold it to them for almost $500 million. They gave it back to him, which makes no sense because I guess they just valued the Disney potential with ESPN that much more that they said, let's just get rid of Barstool at any cost.
Yeah, and so pretty much it's pretty much the stipulations from what I read where if he sells it again, they get half, and they can't advertise or they can't have a advertiser that's another sports book.
Correct.
So, but what I was saying is, why can't he like sell it to Kirk or Big Cat for $1, and then Penn gets half, and then they sell it back, and then now Penn's totally out altogether, Like, does that, I don't know. I'm sure Penn's smart enough, but if that's a loophole, they should do that,
What if Barstool creates their own sports book?
I don't think they can. And I don't think they want to. Like, it's not really, they're more just like, hey, their content, they're like media, right? So
I think it was a brilliant move. He's now, there's no restrictions on him. I'm waiting for the first N-word drop. Maybe we could do it tonight on this show. Should
we do it?
Joanne, drop the N-word.
Nice.
It's not the
I was gonna wear my Bud Light hat so I could say the F word, but
this must drive Business Insider and the haters. Dave is now untouchable. I mean, you can't go after his advertisers. Who gives a shit, right?
The only thing someone was saying, one of my buddies, the private chatter that said, what if he gets a lot of legal costs? And maybe that's the only thing that, like, now he doesn't have the backing of Penn that's going to pay all these legal costs. But I think it's going to be way better. I think Portnoy is going to be more involved. I think Kirk now is going to be more involved, and Kirk actually doing stuff with Barstool people is some of my favorite content now. Like, him doing him at these events, him at narrating the mini golf or being a host on the golf or the Cornhole broadcast was so funny. Like, even on the Yak, they were talking about all these clips about him and Jake Marsh going at it. It's funny. So I'm pumped.
And I mentioned this to Montante because we talk every day. Montante and I we're very close. Oh yeah. And we're saying, like, I think the path for Barstool is appealing to the younger golf fans, which there are a lot of. The under 40 crowd. For sure. That Barstool would appeal to them, and what they saw from not a very prestigious golf tournament, but a PGA tournament nonetheless. Yeah. I think the Golf Channel probably took notice of this and said, if we can bear the initial brunt of the negativism, from this will work out well at the end. In the long run, it'll work out better for golf.
From your peers,
like Kirk and Riggs,
if they could bear the negative comments from people, your peers, the older crowd.
Hey.
So I had to do it. I was laughing halfway through, but it's I think it's awesome. 3 more years, and you know what, Whitney, even though he was on his phone the whole time during the show, maybe he was just tweeting out that tweet. 3 more years, what a pop! That must feel nice as like a person. Like, oh, I'm going to be 3 more years, and to see how it affects people and how pumped people are, like that must have been a great moment for Kirk. And it's pretty cool that he was able to do that, you know? So I'm pumped up that maybe that means 3 more years of Mike and the Minifans, you know, 3 more years, live shows, 3 more years of getting to Montante and 3. See, do you think Montante, now that Penn's gone, he's like, oh, I don't need these guys anymore, you know, because he's a gambler.
Ooh,
you know?
We never thought of that.
Yeah.
Come on, Michael. Say something in the chat.
Oh, actually, this was on my list. Do you think Kirk would do a show with Wit on Sirius? Did you see the tweet? Yes, I had that on there. That would be sweet if Kirk and Whitney did a 1-hour show. Like, what were you guys thinking about that? That's what. Joanne, what do you think?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
Take
Joe.
it, Peltz.
I
Hanging over to you,
have no
Peltz.
idea what you're talking about, Eva. I agree with her. Whatever she says.
You know what they're talking about.
Yeah, Kirk and Whitney show 1 hour. That'll be I would listen to that for sure.
It'd be off the charts.
That'd be
Kirk
sweet.
on Barstool Radio on Sirius with anyone by himself would be off the charts.
Well, if you see it now, they're starting to do it. Like now they're bringing back Barstool Radio. Yep. The Yak goes live. They can almost carve out their own radio platform themselves with YouTube and with everything. Because pretty much you could, if there was a way to have something like on YouTube, if you pay for it, right, you could just have it always going live. You don't have to watch the video. You could Bluetooth it to your car. So
sure,
they should do a attack ad at YouTube and be like, okay, sign up for YouTube Premium for Barstool Radio, and then show YouTube, hey, look, we got you all these subscribers, pay us now, you know. So
yep. And
I think that'd be great if they could, like, because the live radio or live shows is my favorite content, you know, to consume. So you never know what's going to happen.
Get a slice of this. This is your idea. You should get a slice.
Thank you. I just want a slice of your show on the network, Joanne.
The Joanne show. Look at John. He's like, oh Jesus.
Maybe John and Joanne, 2 American kids doing whatever they can, like once a week. You know, we already got it.
What do you think, honey?
Use that earlier, BA. Don't use it again. Use it already.
Yeah. No, but now that's a show name.
Oh,
yeah. What do you think?
Okay.
Look awesome. He's like, oh yeah, awesome.
Awesome. Well, that's it for me. Menors Live is tonight. Back. Menors Live, call in. It'll be a great show. We tested out the audio. There shouldn't be any issues.
It'll be electric.
So finally, Menors is doing something for the network.
About time. Jesus.
About time. I'm just kidding. Menors is a great guy, but call Menors Live. You know, call in. Do your thing. It was a pleasure talking. Anything else before I leave? Any final words, Joanne? Any final words?
Thank you so much. This was fun.
Kirk didn't touch. You didn't touch Kirk's dick.
I didn't touch his.
She's
dick.
a lady. Jeez.
Yeah, she did not touch.
I did.
Kirk was wrong. Joanne did not.
You know what my friend said? I should have said to him, "Is that a pack of gum? Or are you happy to see me?" But I wouldn't have been. I mean, it's so disrespectful.
I'm starting to think you touched it. I don't know. I'm starting to think
John, honey, did I touch his dick?
I have no idea.
Here we go.
I swear on my mother's grave, I didn't touch his dick.
Your mother's
he would have
not
known
dead.
it. He would have known it if I touched his dick. It would have made his night, his whole weekend.
I don't know about that, but it was great talking to you, Ned. Hopefully I can see you guys. Hopefully I can see you guys at the next live event.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can see you guys there.
Hey, BA, I'll be up in the Portland area the first 2 weeks of September. You're more than welcome to come down.
Oh wow, okay.
Across the border.
Maybe across the border, another Portland spectacular. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
have a
so
great
much.
Thanks.
Have a great
Meet you, Peltz. Good to see you, Peltz. Nice to meet you, Joanne. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Another tough day at work today. Stephen Kirk, think I suck. Throw back a few wobbly pops, feeling down on my luck. And the interns ruin every show. But it's still where we want to go. It's Mike and the Minifans. 'Cause nobody had any better plans. You want to be with DC and our aim in a hand. Nobody's seen real MHB. This whole thing is a sham. You never see him pee. It's Mike in the mix.